Let's break it down with 2050 marketing founder and CEO Mike Jackson. He's also a former senior marketing executive at Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Coors, and General Motors. Mike, great to see you.
Good afternoon. Great to see you as well.
You are very familiar with consumer product companies here. So what should Target do? What did they do wrong in your view?
Well, this is a challenging situation for Target because they've been selling Pride-themed merchandise for over 10 years and obviously have had very little backlash, whether it be internal or external from consumers. And so it's a tough situation that they're selling in on the heels of everything that Disney went through down in Florida. So I think it's a timing issue, but ultimately I think they'll stay true to who they are.
If you were working with one of these companies that you worked with in the past right now, Mike, would you say read the tea leaves, look at the environment, and stay away from these sort of political battleground sorts of issues, or stay the course, be who you are because it's true to your corporate identity? Because there is a cost associated with doing that, as we've seen recently.
Yeah, it's different for every company, but in Target's case, they've been very accountable, very transparent, and upholding kind of the company's core values. As you guys know, Brian Cornell has done a tremendous job kind of leading that company. And so in Target's case, I'd say stay true to your values and ultimately be sensitive to the environment that you're selling in. And largely, we're talking about the political environment. But in Target's case, they're well positioned and need to stay true to their corporate values.
Hey, Mike, it's Courtney here, and thanks for joining us. I think when we look at Target, specifically, we look at the last week of May, it was pointed out that there was almost a 15% drop in traffic in their stores. And there's really kind of two sides of the story. One is that they have a lot of discretionary items in their stores, and so with inflation kicking in, it's a lot of people who aren't willing to go to Target and spend right now, or it's a backlash on some of their Pride gear, or is it a combination of the two? I think that's really what investors need to discern against. Is this a short-term issue, or is this a bigger problem with the economy? And I don't know how much we can discern about that with Target specifically.
Yeah, I would think it's a combination of the two. Obviously, retail has some challenging parts of the sector, and discretionary merchandise that Target carries would be kind of high on that list. And then ultimately, they've got a little bit of a tug of war going on, right? Because they've got employees who are literally upset that they pulled the merchandise, and then you had the physical threats going on, and then the huge noise on the politician side, really going after Target, both on the left and the right. So I think it's a short-term issue. It's obviously been very, very challenging over the last 6 weeks or so, but ultimately I think staying true and stand to on the course that they've been on for the last couple of years would be advisable.